Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you the process of booting up the Juniper VEX switch on my EVE-NG virtual environment. And I assume that you've already viewed my previous video about how to install and import the GNet3 and Juniper QFX and RE and PFE, the switch in that virtual environment. It's almost the same, but the function is different. Let me explain this first. In my previous video, and I must use the RE and PFE together and link them together via EM1 and interface with the same interface, but it's not convenient. I must use them together, and if one of them was down, and I cannot use that normally. So the latest version of the Juniper switch is VEX, and I only can use this one without any others. So, and as you know, in the past, the RE switch RE stands for routing engine, and PFE stands for packet forwarding engine. So they are in charge of the different function. I watched some videos on YouTube or any other resource, and I found out that no one just show you the process of booting up the VEX. Yes, I found out that there is a tutorial webpage on the EVE-NG official website, and it is useful. And you can follow that step by step to import the image to your EVE-NG system. But I think it's hard to boot up because there are still I think two steps to initialize your switch. So let me show you. And at first, I need to add the new node, Juniper VEX. So this is the two command that I need. And I assume that you've already imported the image in your EVE-NG. So just keep all the settings as default and click OK. So in this case, you only need this one. You don't need the RE and PFE anymore. Okay, booting up, and I use the same clock to show you the time, how long it will take. Okay, after about 20 minutes, and it depends on your environment. And sometimes it takes me 20 minutes and sometimes more, maybe 40 minutes or an hour. And yes, finally you can see the login prompt there, but it's not ready. If you just keep waiting, and you can see the number, is that I have no idea why is this the number and what's the meaning of that. No, I don't know that. So you just keep waiting, and after some prompts, I will show you like this. Okay, after you see these prompts here, and you can try to log in, use the root username and without password, and I'm going to use CRI and show interface history. It's not ready because you can see there is no physical port here. So you still need to wait for, maybe 10 minutes. Let's see. And let me explain these two commands. The first is delete the chassis auto image upgrade. And if you don't delete that, you can see the upgrade prompt just there again and again, and it can interrupt your operating if you just input some commands. So I recommend you to delete that. And the second one is to set a password, the default password. But because at the beginning of this process, it's no password there. So you just use root as a username and without any password. Before you commit your configuration, you need the password. And at this time, as I said, it's not ready. So if you can check the configuration, you cannot see the chassis auto image upgrade configuration there because it's still in the booting up process. It's loading the configuration, so you cannot see that yet. And after some prompts, and you can see the upgrade prompt like this, and then you can use the command to check the configuration, and you can see the configuration like this, which is our need to delay that. Okay, and after these prompts, and it's ready. So you can use the command show interfaces tools, and you can see, yes, all the physical ports here, which is ready. So you can use this directly. You don't need to delete the extra configuration as the the routing engine, the previous version. So this is convenient, but it takes more time to boot up. So if you have a big topology and you have so many devices, and I recommend you just boot it up before you start your work. Okay, the last thing is about the graceful power off. If you want to use this device in the future, maybe you want to use it again after you close this lab in your EVNG or GN3, you must use the graceful shutdown command, request system power off, and click yes. And after you see this prompt, and you can stop it. If you don't do this step, maybe some issues come to you and you have no idea what happened. So I have another way to solve this problem if it's not ready. For example, in the past, I faced the issue that it's just rebooting again and again and again. And it takes me about 2 hours and 3 hours and it's still not ready. So you can wipe it. You can wipe it as like configure it as default and then boot it up and then configure that. So this is the way that I used and successfully. Okay.